Hey guys, back another video, and since it is the 10th, time for the latest installment of my Ben 10 series. Now I know this is a weird and stupid series, but I like doing it, even though I don't seem to have the energy or the research of memory to talk about it, but I do love doing these things. In this episode we talk about the highly 50-50 season, and I know I said this with Ultimate Alien, that was a 50 season, but you kind of, yeah, it had its fits. With this one, this was a weird one, and that is Ben 10 OmniVerse. An older Ben 10 with a brand new Omnitrix, brand new aliens, brand new adventure. Of course, you got brand new characters, which debuted his new partner for the series, Rook, who is an alien, of course, but I don't know the best way to describe Rook. He was a great character. Omniverse was definitely a good show. A lot of the episodes were sometimes hit and miss at the time, but it did debut a lot of new characters with a good arc with the new villain they debuted, Kyber the Huntsman. It was a good arc with Kyber. The only thing I think it sucked at was that I brought in Albedo, which I don't think it sucked. It just was weird that was his partner. But it was a great storyline with Kyber always hunting him and always being one step ahead with the Nematrix counteracting the Omnitrix. I do think sometimes I had a gimmick episode where it didn't really contribute much. But one of my favorite episodes in this, crap. All I remember is Ben basically had 3 chicks patterned after a certain alien in the Watch. Princess Luma of Tetraman, which are the forearm species, gunning after forearms. Atea of the Incursions going after Bullfrag. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just pause where I'm talking about certain aliens and look them up. They was going after Bullfrag, and the main thing, you had Nancy Chan, I think her friggin' name was, mind-controlling Wrath, who is, without a shadow of a doubt, probably my favorite alien ever since Alien Force, which I think is where he debuted. Wrath has just been one of my favorites. She's like, the macho man as an alien, yeah, with that intensity, yeah. Anyway, Omniverse. It was a weird one. It was a weird event that with the Ben 10 franchise. Go ahead, your classic Vilgax storylines and that kind of stuff, which is weird since Vilgax was actually. Let me think about it. Was Vilgax ever in the franchise? Because it seemed like Vilgax was like hinted more often than not, which can sometimes work. With Omniverse, I think they did it sometimes a good job. And let me think about this. Like the old aliens got a new updated look. The new aliens were pretty interesting. Like one of them was Gravitack, which I don't think ever got used that much. The dude's basically a living planet that had the powers of gravity. Seriously, he's an alien. It's basically a living planet, and he doesn't use him. What? Plus, aside from the Kyber one, the main franchise arc for this series was with a villain named Malware, which was a corrupted upgrade species. Which instead of upgrading technology, he would cause a malware, a corrupted tech, to turn it for his weaponry. This was such a shocking story arc for something like Ben 10. Like, you had your downside, you had your little dark things, but for them to all out and kill one of the aliens in this series, that was insane. I mean, they've gotten rid and rescued aliens which have been captured by villains and tortured, but I don't think they've ever offed an alien in the franchise. And to do it to one where it had such a mystique to it, like in the intro, you always saw this black alien with like wires, like with these sticking out of his head, which was later referred to as feedback, a conductoid. There was so much in the first season, I think, is where it all ended with the feedback thing. I think it was season 1. The feedback thing was so much hinted at, always talking about this alien known as feedback. Always trying to get Ben to talk about it, but he always avoided talking about this feedback. And that always intrigued the hell out of me. Like, okay, who is feedback? What is feedback? What does he do? It turned out he was this alien that... What the f... What was that? Oh, my phone. Anyway, back to feedback in this arc. You always you saw the little pictures of him in the intro, but you always wondered, what does this guy do? What is his story? Apparently what he did was he could take the electricity from a device and throw it back at you. For any Pokemon fan, it would be like Wobbuffet's mirror move, or counter. Yes, I said that. Whatever. It's the best analogy I could come up with off the top of my head. And I'm not going to lie here. There was one hinted ship in Ben 10 OmniVerse that I kind of got behind, but then they trashed it. And that was Ben and this alien chick known as Esther. And it was very obvious that this chick liked him. But Ben's such a stupid idiot. Seriously, what is it with these cartoon characters that they make them so freaking dense? You got Natsu, who's dense about Lucy, or just doesn't fucking care. Well, the main dense dumbass in cartoons, Ash from Pokemon. Seriously, that guy needs a reality slap. Anyway, back to Ben 10. I'll say this, I watched every episode of OmniVerse. Can I remember them? God, no. But I did watch, well, there are some episodes I missed. I'm positive I watched like 90 or 80% of the episodes. But, yeah. Man. I know a lot of people would complain about OmniVerse because it was a weird... Because they also did a series called... In the same world, it was just a different... I don't know what to call it. It was called Monster Mayhem. It was... I'm guessing this was during October. It should. Where they did a lot of... No, Galactic Monsters. Where they featured a lot of monster aliens and brought back some favorites that probably weren't used as much. They brought back Benwolf, but he renamed him Blitzwolfen, something like that. Snarl, the mummy alien, Frankenstrike, who I was mad that he only used that alien once in the original show. He's a freaking Frankenstein with electricity powers, bro! Then they debuted a vampire who he named Vampire. We gotta love Ben and his weird naming abilities of these aliens. Galactic Monsters was so many times had such creative ideas to draw these monsters. That's what I love about Ben 10 in general. Because they're not M. Night Shyamalan style generic. From, what was that stupid movie? Signs, I think it was. Where the aliens were just generic in that movie, where in Ben 10, you could tell every alien apart. They had such unique characteristics of the body, and their species are just so defined. You can, especially with Galactic Monsters, where everything was duller, everything was darker, with more monster-like colors, like dark blue, black, gray, purple, some with a little hint of red and green to still make it Ben 10. Then there was the, I hated this version. There was this one special where, not even a special, just one episode where they debuted another cousin named Clyde, voiced by the guy who does, Napoleon Dynamite. He got a piece of tech that transformed him into what he called Clyde 5. Hold on, let me check this time. Okay, so I gotta wrap this up soon. Clyde 5 was stupid. He broke the fourth. That's something that OmniVerse did a lot of the time, more than the other series. That they broke the fourth wall a few times. I didn't mind it that much in that show. But yeah, Clyde 5's fourth wall breaking was stupid. Anyway, OmniVerse. I'll wrap this up with this. OmniVerse. It was a good show, and in my opinion, probably an underrated one of the Ben 10 universe. And God, I can't wait till February 10th, because that is where I talk about the modern day Ben 10. And I'll pause it. Some people will ask, oh, what's wrong with this one? Just wait and see. Just wait and see in 1 month where I talk about it. Cause I remember in art class, you know what? I'll save that story till next time. I'll save that till the next episode. Later.